And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. We do have some breaking news for you this afternoon, and it isn't pretty. It really isn't. It's an absolute disgrace. We've been saying here on the channel that this was probably going to be the case. However, I did feel that potentially, I feel like I maybe had a little bit of hope in me that we would see this individual, of course, get the same sentence as the individuals last year. But it's the UK, and it is, of course, a two-tier justice system. This is confirmed. There's nothing more that you can say about that. It's absolutely confirmed and is the case. The UK operates under a two-tier justice system, and you'll be treated differently based on your political views, your skin colour and everything else. This is a clear precedent for it, as Ricky Jones today, moments ago, has been found not guilty of encouraging violence last year. You can't make it up, can you? You know, so last summer we've seen hundreds of people jailed, imprisoned, fast-tracked, of course, sentenced to crazy sentences, such as Lucy Connolly, one of the famous ones, and someone like Peter Lynch, who is no longer with us. Of course, getting unheard of sentences in the British justice system for writing words on Facebook. Ricky Jones, probably out of every individual that was in and amongst those groups of people last summer, probably did the worst thing I have actually seen out of it. You know, he incited violence. He said that we should be slitting the throats of the far right, essentially. That we should be slitting the throats of them. He was inciting violence. Remember, Lucy Connolly's tweet had no victim. It had no victim. It wasn't. It was anyone. She didn't incite violence to a specific location, and she didn't incite violence to an individual person whatsoever. And she was sentenced to 36 months and will be released next week, so would have served around a year, 40% of her sentence. Ricky Jones, at the bare minimum, I was thinking was going to get a suspended sentence. I didn't think that he would get not guilty. I didn't think that would be in the realms of this establishment, that he would get not guilty. Not guilty. Nothing. Not even a suspended sentence. I thought that's what the watered down thing was going to be. I thought he was going to get suspended at the bare minimum. And I thought that would have been outrageous. But this guy, despite inciting violence and saying the things that he said last year at the exact same time where this government set a precedent for prison sentences, he did something far more extreme, far more worse, and has got off scot-free. Not guilty of encouraging violence disorder. You can't make it up. Don't let anyone tell you that there isn't a two-tier justice system in this country. Don't let anyone tell you now, because it's so clear. I knew it for ages. I knew it for time and time. But surely this is now the moment where people are awakened. The people that didn't think that this was a case, surely they are now awakened to this. He drew his finger across his throat and called for demonstrators. Bearing in mind, he called for demonstrators. Disgusting Nazi fascists. And then he said that they should be slitting their throats, inciting violence. His words had a victim. They had people. Lucy Connolly's didn't. And she's been in prison for a year behind bars. This guy's walking free. Not guilty. Not even a suspended sentence. Not guilty. Jones, of course, we've been seeing it over the trial this week. He's played the race card on numerous occasions. He brought out the violin, of course, talking about his younger self, that he was racially abused, apparently, and he had to do with pee in his underwear, and also played on the card about ADHD, that he has ADHD, and that's what he went out about and doing. And, of course, he had the character. Apparently acted out of character during this period where he told people to slit throats. But yeah, now we're seeing that it's being said by the jurors that he didn't necessarily mean it. And now we're seeing that he's not guilty. I'm speechless. Absolutely speechless with regard to it. I'm actually shocked. I'm genuinely shocked. I know people are going to say, but Dan, this is the British establishment. It was always going to happen. You're right. I thought he was going to get an unduly lenient sentence. That's how much I suppose I had no faith with the British justice system and the establishment, but I thought they wouldn't be that dumb. I thought he would get a suspended sentence like that nonce Hugh Edwards. I thought he would get a suspended sentence at the bare minimum, and then I would have still made a live stream outraged. But to get a non-guilty verdict? All hell is going to break loose, man. This story has just broke, guys. I'm going to be having a look at some of the reaction. But I can't imagine that it's going to be too pretty. I think a lot of people are going to be absolutely fuming. Absolutely fuming. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing it on X now. Ricky Jones, not guilty. Wow. I mean, it's everywhere on X right now. Everyone's having their say. The UK is a two-tier justice system. It's outrageous. That's all I can say. And by the way, I'm not much of a snowflake. Just to let you know, I'm not a snowflake. I don't think we should have had any sentences for things like that on what people say. Just to say quickly, put my 50. I think you should be able to have freedom of speech. I think with tweets and stuff like this, I think there's absolute BS that you can get jailed for something like that. And to be fair, if the precedent wasn't already set last summer, I wouldn't have really gave a fuck about Ricky Jones, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I think it's a dangerous road to go down when you start calling for sentences like that. In days gone by, yesteryears, I wouldn't have gave a fuck. To be perfectly honest with you, I wouldn't. Sorry for my French. I'm not holding back. I'm angry, so I'm going to be swearing a little bit. So sorry. I wouldn't have cared. I really wouldn't have cared what people say. I'm not a snowflake and don't think people get jail sentences for that. But the establishment set the precedent last year. They set the precedent. They said that you go to jail for 36 months for writing a tweet that had no victim, by the way. That had no victim. And it wasn't a call to violence. This was a call to violence and an incitement to violence. And he gets off scot-free. And we've seen a mother serve pretty much a year of her sentence. Oh, this is going to rumble on for the rest of the day. This is really going to rumble on for the rest of the day. Let's get into the live chat, troops. Let's see what people are saying with regard to this. Julie says, disgusting. That means all the people who have been put in jail for less should be set free. I mean, they should be compensated if that's the case. There's so much questions that I want to ask and you'll never get the answers for. You will never get the answers for them, ever. Darren Eves is saying they are taking the piss. This is disgusting. See, look at the outrage of everybody in the live chat. Everybody can see how outrageous of a decision this is. This is scandalous. This is absolutely disgusting and just shows. It just shows the clear two-tier justice system that is upon us here in the UK. Chris says that's why they announced Lucy would be freed next week, because they knew Ricky Jones would walk free. Think about it even more. It's hurt my brain thinking about it. He was already delayed a year. But how can they say that they, the police and the judicial system make decisions without fear or favour? Because they clearly don't. They clearly don't make decisions without fear or favour. Get Starmer out, Lucy Connolly jail, Peter Lynch died in prison. This is disgusting. Lee Hughes says, I've just tuned in. Has he got off completely? Yep, found not guilty. He's, there he is, not guilty. Not guilty plea, breaking news over the last hour. Over the last 10 minutes, or should I say. Not guilty of encouraging violent disorder. Mark said, we all know he was going to walk free, proven in court that there is a two-tier justice. Bawley Boo says there is no justice in this country anymore. The whole judiciary is a joke. Brad Soul, disgusting. We knew this was going to happen. The problem is, and I'll keep on saying and I'll say it again, the problem is that they set the precedent last summer. You know, I don't think many of us really, I don't think many people are that much, especially on the right side of politics. We're not easily offended. We're not really snowflakes, to be perfectly honest. And it's a dangerous road to go down, as I said, if you jail people for things like this. But they already set the bar for it. Dishing out sentences such as that last summer. Lucy Connolly, for instance. Peter Lynch died, paid with his life, essentially. Hundreds of others rotting away in jail, away from their families, where this guy does something far worse than what they did at the same time and gets nothing. Shocking, absolutely shocking. Oh shit. Sorry. Garfo says, what makes you laugh is he is an MP as well. Yeah. Well, there you go, yeah. You can see it. They look after their own, don't they? Labour as well. Ricky Jones. Oh, he's done so much self-character for him. We've seen him on camera. You know? We've seen him on camera there and then doing what he did. He got nothing. And surely he should be a sacrificial lamb to show that doesn't matter who you are, you're not above this Orwellian law that they imposed themselves. Trevor says this was totally wrong. He was inciting violence. He should have been found guilty. The law has become a total joke under this Labour government. Remember, his call and his incite to violence actually had a victim. He was calling for the cutting of the throats of far-right protesters. Lucy Connolly didn't have a victim. It didn't have a victim. It didn't say. She never said anything. The key word that she said is, you can burn the hotels down for all I care. That's what she said in the tweet. You can burn the hotels down for all I care. That is not an incite to violence. There is no location. There is no individual. It was just a pass-away comment. You could do that for all I care. You can go out for all I care. You can leave for all I care. For all I care. This guy actually had a victim. Angry. But we've seen it all week. You know, he was playing the race card. He was of course bringing the violin out. He was talking about his ADHD. Of course he was going to get away with it. But the thing I'm shocked with is that I thought he was going to get a guilty plea. I thought he was going to get guilty, found guilty, and get a suspended sentence. And that still would have been a disgrace. But the guy didn't get anything. Mental. Troops, I'm going to go. Oh, this is frustrating me. There's going to be a lot of fallout from this, of course, over the next couple of days. Do let me know your thoughts on it down there in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.